The streets are all empty and the stores are all closed. I've got a rip in my shirt and I'm trying to get home. The money I had was a fool's time to shine, and by the whole bar around just before closing time. It ain't good till I have things worth being told. Starting with something in silver or gold. There are some things that can't be undone. It all happened once upon a bottle of rum. It all happened once upon a bottle of rum. I sailed off to find what I just hadn't found. Living my life in my little hometown. So I traveled the world singing songs to get by. Fell in love by the dozens on those hot island nights. It ain't good till I have this world being told. Starting with something in silver or gold. There are some things that can't be undone. It all happened once upon a bottle of rum. It all happened once upon a bottle of rum. And I'm old and gray with my kids by my side. They ask me about all the times of my life. I'll smile and I'll say that the things that I've done all happened once upon a bottle of rum. All happened once upon a bottle of rum. I should have seen it coming. The red flag up goodbye. I had a funny feeling, but I thought it was a lie. I thought I had walls and no one could break down. Ain't it funny how a heart breaks without a sound? And I know it sounds like giving up. There's a time when enough's enough, and I don't feel like fighting anymore for love.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Monday to you. Made it through another weekend, and we're here. Celebrate Monday morning. A brand new week. Bye, Jordan. Jordan's taking off there. It is the 14th of November in the year 2022. Almost 2023. We are inching our way closer and closer to the end of the year and the beginning of a brand new one. Hopefully, goodness gracious, brings us even more goodness. I can't complain. 2022 has been a pretty decent year all around for me. Lots of new things, big changes, but all for the better. So I hope that that's the way for you as well. Of course, not without trials and tribulations, but that's what makes the good times even sweeter. I am Brad Brock, and you are listening to Jams and Coffee here in the morning. I thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube or Facebook or listening in on our companion internet radio station, JNC Radio, which you can listen to on our website at jncpodcast.com, or you listen on the free LIVE365 Radio App available anywhere you get your apps. You just download it and search for JNC Radio, and we'll pop right up. You can listen to this show and music all day and all the good stuff. Anyway, a bunch of stuff to talk about. Interesting topics that I found interesting. But we'll kick things off here with our Treasure Coast weather report, and of course our irrelevant weather report from Phillip in Tennessee. But this morning here on the Treasure Coast, the temperatures are in the mid to upper 60s under partly cloudy skies. You wouldn't know that by looking out the window, though. Looks like a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky. This afternoon, though, we're going to get highs in the low 80s with mostly sunny conditions and a slim chance for an isolated shower. And tonight, the lows will be in the upper 60s to low 70s, which is a cool night here this time of year, and mainly dry into the night as that cold front pushes through. Tomorrow, we're looking at highs in the mid-80s, mostly sunny and mainly dry throughout the day, so it's going to be pretty nice. Wednesday, the highs in the mid to upper 80s with a few more clouds and some passing showers as a weak cold front moves into the area. So all around, looks like it's going to be a pretty decent week here weather-wise. Hopefully that translates to a decent week all around. But yeah, we'll also talk about some of our national days. We've got a few today. Just to let you know, I am watching the chats and comments as well as I can. So if you're listening and you want to chime in, feel free to. We'll have a little chat. Our national days today, let's take a peek. Today is National Spicy Guacamole Day. And who doesn't love a good guac? Some of you might not. I love it. National Spicy Guacamole Day. It brings together some fresh flavors on the 14th of November, so call your friends and get the chips ready and celebrate with a bowl of spicy guacamole dip. Guacamole originating with the Aztecs in Mexico. Guacamole is an avocado-based sauce. It's become popular in American cuisine as a dip, condiment, and salad ingredient. Guacamole is made by using a mortar and pestle to mash ripe avocados and then mixing in sea salt, sometimes tomatoes, onion, garlic, lemon juice, chili, yogurt, or other seasonings are added. Jalapenos, chilies, cumin, or red pepper can be added to the recipe to make the guacamole spicy, which is what today is all about. Super Bowl Sunday and Cinco de Mayo celebrations feature guacamole as a staple snack, and as a result, avocado sales have soared to 30 million pounds on those 2 days each year. Simple avocado carries a healthy punch of unsaturated fat. That's the good one. Additionally, a single avocado includes substantial amounts of vitamin C and E. Things come in small packages, though. There are nearly 400 calories in 1 cup of guacamole. Well, there you go. National Spicy Guacamole Day. And another great snack is a pickle, and it's National Pickle Day today. National Pickle Day recognizes the tart, sometimes sweet, and even spicy pickle Each year on November 14th, pickle lovers pop open packs of their preferred preserved pickle. Maybe a dill, a gherkin, Cornichon, brined, kosher dill, Polish, Hungarian lime, bread and butter, Swedish and Danish, or Kool-Aid pickle. Ever heard of that? No matter your choice, eat them all day long. All day, pickles all day. The term pickle actually comes from the Dutch word pekkel, meaning brine. The U.S., the word pickle typically refers to a pickled cucumber. However, just about any fruit or vegetable can be pickled. The process typically starts with a blanching process, depending on the fruit or vegetable, and then the product is packed into jars with seasonings that will give the pickle their flavor. They can be spicy, tart, or sweet. However, the tartness and sweetness come from the brine. A basic brine includes vinegar and water, various amounts of sugar adjusted to the level of sweetness in the brine. There you go, a little lesson in pickling. Delicious. I never understood people that didn't like pickles. But I still accept you. I just am suspicious. Today is also National Family PJ Day. Comfort comes in the form of National Family PJ Day, celebrated each year on the 14th of November. The day invites everyone of all ages to wear their favorite pajamas for a party. Whether we snuggle in for extra sleep or binge watch our favorite television series, the day will be filled with family highlights, board games, and our warm flannels or pillow fights. While wearing our best footies PJs, then they'll create lasting memories. Do a little holiday shopping online while the youngest family members catch up on their sleep. National PJ Day. I don't know if that works so well for here, but up in Tennessee, where Philip is from, you can probably use some nice, good flannel PJs days. The weather up there, the irrelevant weather up there is it's a frosty cold 29 degrees this morning, he said, up in Middle Tennessee. And warming up, he said, to a balmy 40 degrees today. He said it's a little warmer tomorrow, but with chances of rain and the same old forecast. Lows in the 30s and highs in the 40s all week. Yeah, I bet you did. Philip said he had them on last night. I bet. Nice and chilly up there in Middle Tennessee. Yeah, I don't know, man. Here in Florida, or like, I do have several sets of proper pajamas. But mainly it's like gym shorts and T-shirts for me. My body runs at a high temperature most times, so it's very difficult for me to get comfortable if I'm sweating. Here's an important one for all of you out there. It's a National Seatbelt Day. And as the holidays approach, National Seatbelt Day on November 14th encourages everyone to buckle up to save lives. No matter where you sit in a vehicle, wearing a seatbelt is proven to save lives. Just over 90% of Americans buckle up, which is good, saving an estimated 15,000 lives each year. However, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 47% of passenger fatalities in 2017 were not restrained. Seatbelts are proven to reduce the risk of serious injury and save lives. It's been 60 years since the invention of the three-point seatbelt, and this restraint has saved hundreds of thousands of lives over that time. Since then, the industry has added advanced safety devices to automobiles. However, alone, many of these advancements may not save a life unless a seatbelt restrains the driver and passengers. Airbags, for example, work most effectively when paired with proper seatbelt use. On its own, the force of which the airbag deploys can be fatal without the restraining hold of a seatbelt. During this holiday travel season and every season, be sure everyone buckles up and everyone safely arriving will be worth celebrating. It's like second nature for me. It's the first thing I do when I jump in the car. Boom, I'm just buckled in. Sometimes I don't even recall doing it. It's muscle memory now. Very rarely will you see me get into an automobile and not wear a seatbelt. Anywhere I sit, whether I sit in the back or just second nature. What else? We have at least one more. Let's see. I think that's it for the national days. It is also World Diabetes Day. Around the globe on November 14th, World Diabetes Day raises awareness and provides education concerning a disease that affects over 400 million adults internationally. Of course, diabetes is a metabolic disease that causes high blood sugar levels. It is also the leading cause of blindness, amputation, heart disease, and kidney disease. Besides causing several medical issues, the condition also causes millions of premature deaths each year. In fact, diabetes has become one of the leading causes of death around the world. The World Health Organization states that 1.5 million people died from diabetes in 2016, and by the year 2045, approximately 629 million adults will have diabetes. So, got to take care of that pancreas. Cut down on the sweets, me included. Anyway, that's our national days today, and so celebrate accordingly. All right, we do have some really fun stories here. One actually corresponds with our top 10, which I'll get into later on. I have some good news. Let's see. Where do I want to start? Oh, yeah, I'll start here. Okay, good news for those of you in Colorado who like to get a little crazy. Colorado voters have passed a ballot initiative to decriminalize psychedelic mushrooms for people 21 and older, and to create state-regulated healing centers. That was in quotes, by the way. Where patients or participants can experience the drug under supervision. Colorado becomes the second state after Oregon to vote to establish a regulated system for substances like psilocybin and psilocin. Those, of course, are the hallucinogenics found in some mushrooms. The initiative, which would take effect in 2024, will allow an advisory board to add whether plant-based psychedelic drugs to the program. Will allow an advisory board to add other plant-based psychedelic drugs to the program in 2026. So supporters argue that the state's current approach to mental health has failed and that the naturally occurring psychedelics, which have been used for hundreds of years, could treat depression, PTSD, anxiety, addiction, and other conditions. They also said jailing people for the non-violent offense of using naturally occurring substances costs taxpayers money. What a better way to get a politician's attention than to talk about cost and money. Natural Medicine Colorado is the group that promoted the measure. They call its passage a truly historic moment. Colorado voters saw the benefit of regulated access to natural medicines, including psilocybin. So people with PTSD, terminal illness, depression, anxiety, and other mental health issues can heal, the group said in a prepared statement. But critics warned that the Food and Drug Administration has not approved the substances as medicine. They also argued that allowing healing centers to operate and allowing private personal use of the drugs would jeopardize public safety and send the wrong message to kids and adults alike that the substances are healthy. This opens a very large national conversation about the role of the FDA in determining medicines in this country, said Luke Niferatos, the head of the opposition ballot committee, Protect Colorado's Kids. Well, another way to get the politicians' attentions. Let's bring the kids into it. He went on to say, because now, for a second time in a row, we've had states put medicine to a ballot vote and circumvent science and the FDA. Niferato said his group is calling on the FDA, the Drug Enforcement Administration, and the U.S. Attorney for Colorado to step in because the drugs are still federally illegal. He asks, are we going to dispense with the FDA, the only institution in charge of protecting patient health and safety, and just say we're okay with statewide, nationwide experiments on whatever startup comes up? whatever startup comes up with for a drug. The ballot's initiative's passage comes a decade after Colorado voted to legalize recreational marijuana, after initially allowing its use for medical reasons, which led to a multi-billion-dollar industry with hundreds of dispensaries popping up across the state. Critics of the latest ballot initiative say the same deep-pocketed players who have pushed for legalizing recreational marijuana in various states are using a similar playbook to create a commercial market and eventually recreational dispensaries for dangerous substances. Voters in last week's midterm elections approved recreational marijuana in Maryland and Missouri, but rejected it in 2 other states, signaling support gradually growing for legalization even in conservative parts of the country. The result means that 21 states have approved marijuana's recreational use. Florida, what's your problem? Heavily conservative down here in this area, so that's going to be a tough one to flip. But under Colorado's latest measure, the psychedelics that would be decriminalized are listed as Schedule I controlled substances under state and federal law and are defined as drugs with no currently accepted medical use, with a high potential for abuse. Even so, the FDA has designated psilocybin as a breakthrough therapy to treat major depressive disorder. The designation can expedite research, development, and review of the drug if it might offer substantial improvements over existing treatments. Colorado's ballot initiative would allow those 21 and older to grow, possess, and share the psychedelic substances, but not sell them for personal use. It would also allow people who have been convicted of offenses involving the substances to have their criminal records sealed. Those who want to use mushrooms would not need approval from a doctor. In addition, to be able to grow and use their own mushrooms, those who want to try the therapy could do so through the newly formed healing centers, which would be allowed to supply clients with mushrooms but not sell them. Instead, clients would pay for the services of the facilitator at the center. Any way to get around it, right? Proponents have repeatedly stressed that the measure does not allow dispensaries like those selling recreational and medical marijuana. In 2020, Oregon became the first state in the nation to legalize the therapeutic supervised use of psilocybin after 56% of voters approved ballot measure 109. But unlike the Colorado measure, Oregon allows counties to opt out of the program if their constituents vote to do so. In Colorado, counties and municipalities would be able to regulate healing centers but not ban them. Oregon's initiative is expected to take effect at the beginning of next year. Washington, D.C. and Denver have partially decriminalized psychedelic mushrooms by requiring law enforcement officers to treat them as their lowest priority. So, my philosophy on drugs in general is if it grows from the ground and is you could go out in your backyard and find it, I don't think that you should go to prison for it. I find that massively counterproductive in a lot of ways. I think that there's a even bigger problem with prescription medication, pharmaceuticals, than there is with naturally occurring plant-based drugs, I suppose. So I don't know. I lean on the side of I think that's fine. Certainly should be watched. I don't think that we should have a society of people roaming around high on mushrooms all the time. But certainly don't think people should go to prison over it. They'll come around. They'll come around. Who doesn't love a good mushroom high? Probably most of you. All right. We're going to take a quick music break. When we come back, Hurricane Nicole unearthed quite a bit of interesting stuff. along the Treasure Coast here. We're going to talk a little bit about it when we come back. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Thank you for doing so. We'll be right back. Here's one from Deal James.
Oh, no, no, no. Oh, oh, no, 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 no. Living color and a moving line. Past the border, you will find tender motives and a heart of gold. Where's the time gone? Until she asked me again, was there ever a plan for your heart and energy? There's a cause and effect for the ones we infect with our love and our dreams. Make your move to draw her near, not too close, I'm the cancer deer. I'm waiting for the sky to fall before I commit. And then she asked me again, was there ever a plan for your heart and energy? There's a cause and effect for the ones we infect with our love and our dreams. Color in a moving line. Past the border, you will find tender motives and a heart of gold. Where's the time gone? Until she asked me again, was there ever a plan for your heart and energy? There's a cause and for the ones we infect with our love and our dreams. Whoa, oh, 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 no, no, no. Whoa, oh, 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 ooh. Whoa, oh, 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 no, 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 no. Whoa, oh, oh, oh. Ask me again, was there ever a plan for your heart and energy? There's a cause and effect for the ones we infect with our love and our dreams.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show.
Oh, thank you, Jessica. You are listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show, and I appreciate you doing so. Over on YouTube, Facebook, or listening in on JNC Radio. Wherever you're listening, we certainly hope that you give us a subscribe smash there on YouTube and follow us on our social medias, anywhere you listen. This is a great story. I love seeing this stuff because we live right here on the Treasure Coast, and it's you always hear stories about hurricanes washing cool things, and so it's happened again. Treasure hunters have discovered artifacts unearthed by Hurricane Nicole. As the story goes, right after and, believe it or not, even during hurricanes, there's a group of brave souls who take to the shoreline. Treasure hunters seize an opportunity to get an even better chance of finding coins, jewels, and artifacts from Spanish shipwrecks from the 1700s. These hunters were busy combing the beaches and unearthing shiny pieces of Treasure Coast history. Hurricane Nicole's pounding waves and storm surge eroded the coastline. That also lured Jonah Martinez to the shore in search of treasure. When Mother Nature does an event where it takes away the sand on an extreme level, that's when you find the stuff, Martinez said. People like doing this, and that's how stuff gets found, and they rewrite history. He's got hunting. He's got hunting for long-lost coins, jewels, and artifacts from Spanish shipwrecks down to a science. Martinez said there's nobody that writes how to do this. They feel the wind, they feel the rain. When storms come, he gets to work. Martinez said it's definitely go time. Hurricanes, cold fronts are great. He said, I take advantage of the change of tides every cycle during the storm, while the storm is going on or as the storm is leaving. And he's had plenty of success over the years finding some of the millions of dollars worth of Spanish treasures. And now he's got new company while he's on his hunts. His 16-year-old daughter, Kaylee, has joined him in combing the beaches. Kaylee said, Hurricane Ian was my first time actually detecting with my dad on the beach. And Hurricane Ian gave her first taste of treasure. She said, I had never found a silver coin, and this was like my first coin ever. He grabs it out of the pile, and we were just sitting there freaking out. And not only did she find a silver coin, but she found a gold coin as well. She said, I'm shaking because I'm like, there's no way. I open my hand, and there's a little gold coin in there. She said, I am speechless. So they hope to keep finding items that Hurricane Nicole brought to the surface. Martinez, his friends, and other treasure hunters have found a variety of items over the last few days. There are a bunch of old Spanish coins that were found recently, a bunch of old shipwreck pieces, fasteners, different things like that, Martinez said. He said they're not digging for the value, but working to unearth and collect pieces of history. Martinez said this is still real. This still happens here on the Treasure Coast. So and there's a million stories like Mr. Martinez because the truth is there's so much out there. And I have dear friends that work tirelessly to unearth these types of things all season long, usually in the calm waters, because you don't want to be out on a boat looking for this stuff when the seas are not forgiving. And it's heartbreaking, really, because they put so much time and energy into it and sometimes come up empty-handed in some seasons. And then things like this happen, a storm rolls through, and you have people combing the beach, and boom, there you go, a pile or a satchel of coins or silver coins clumped together, because that's what happens in the salt water down here. It's crazy. The craziest thing, I've learned so much about Florida treasure hunting over the last few years, being able to sit and talk with the people that are masters at it. And it's that when you're free diving or snorkeling or whatever, you will oftentimes miss a pile of silver coins because it looks a bit like a rock, a sea rock, because the coins get all tarnished and clumped together. And they look like a rock or some barnacles. You really have to have the eye for it to see it down there. Gold coins, however, look just like they did the day they went down. And very easy to spot if you could spot them. But yeah, it's a really, really cool thing. And congratulations to them for finding some great stuff out there with their metal detectors, which brings me to my top 10 today, which I think is kind of fun. The top 10 we're going to do, where is it here? It's the 10 strangest things found while metal detecting. So sit back and enjoy our top 10. Here we go. All right. Metal detecting is considered a fun and adventurous activity. Enthusiasts look forward to the days when they can carry their metal detectors and head to the woods or the beach. They hope to find jewelry or historical items and anything in between. It's been the norm for many people since time immemorial. However, metal detecting has not always been a hobby or adventure to look forward to. Some people have discovered things that they wouldn't wish to. The adventure has uncovered some of the world's strangest things, from painted mannequins to human body parts. Here we look at some of the weirdest findings in the history of metal detecting. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so number 10 on our list here. Metal detecting. Let me get it so I can read it a little better. There we go. Metal detecting might seem like fun and games until you discover something that genuinely risks your life, like an undetonated World War II hand grenade. Well, this is precisely what happened to a YouTuber known as Silver Steve Detecting. In a video uploaded on July 30th, 2016, the online content creator and metal detecting enthusiast narrates as he's walking on a beach in the UK. It was once home to numerous World War bunkers. On that day, he was out metal detecting as usual before encountering something strange and deadly. That, of course, is an undetonated hand grenade. Fortunately, Steve called the local police, who sent specialists to the scene. The authorities detonated the grenade at a safe distance, and no one was hurt. It also proves that the hand grenade was unused and threatened people visiting the beach. It's almost like a literally ticking time bomb. Lucky for them that they found that. Could you imagine? I couldn't. Couldn't even imagine. Let's see. Number 9 on the list here. No doubt that guns are dangerous. They're used to threaten, harm, and unfortunately kill in some instances. This basic information alone tells you that finding a weapon using a metal detector isn't common. Nobody wakes up one day hoping to stumble across a weapon like this, let alone find it wrapped suspiciously. Well, believe it or not, that was the story of a YouTuber known as Deep Digger Dan. Don't say that one too quick. In a video uploaded on YouTube in 2021, Dan set out into the woods with his metal detector to do what he does best: find objects and create content. The day started as a regular one. He found a small object, an ancient coin, and he thought that was it. However, as he was about to leave the forest, his metal detector picked up something strange. He found what looked like a hand pistol wrapped in bubble wrap. Oh, boy. Usually, if this were a military pistol or one used in good faith, you would not expect it to be wrapped the way that it was. Upon removing the bubble wrap, Dan's fears were confirmed. It was a pistol that had been eaten away by rust and was hardly recognizable. As he should have, he called the police and told them of his finding. The weapon was in horrible shape, and the authorities confirmed it could not be identified to know if it was used to commit a crime. Either way, it's an extraordinary find, don't you think? And if that wasn't extraordinary enough, here's another one. Number 8 on our list. To begin with, anything that has to be kept a secret always raises eyebrows. As a metal detection lover, stumbling over an unknown underground space can be spooky. In 2013, a man out with his metal detector discovered an underground room filled with stones and rusty chains. Nobody seemed to know what the hole was about for the longest time, but many theories were available. Most natives believed that this was a storage space for a family that owned the land and had died several years before its discovery. However, what were the rusty chains for? Well, some people believed someone else inherited the room after the family left. And in contrast, others thought the space was used for paranormal activities. In most parts of the world, people attribute anything they do not understand to spiritual or dark forces. Did you know that? What remains certain is discovering an underground room while metal detecting doesn't always happen just on a regular Sunday. It's definitely unusual. Number 7 here on our list. Metal detecting, of course, is supposed to be fun, but that is not always the case. Sometimes it's scary. And this is the story of a content creator and metal detecting enthusiast known as Metal Detecting 24. As he was doing his business, the metal detector started going off, and he turned his attention to a blue cylinder that was sealed and buried underground. As expected, curiosity got the better of him, so he opened the can. To his surprise, he found what looked like a chopped human head, but soon discovered it was actually a mannequin. Still, it was painted red and had what looked like a knife stabbed into the side of its head and stuck together with tape. Sick, man. In a separate lunchbox-like tin, there was what seemed to be a time capsule, and it's unclear why someone would go through so much trouble assembling something like that. While the discovery might not be as spooky as the rest on this list, finding something like this alone in the forest can send chills down your spine. Number 6 on our list of weirdest things found by a metal detector. Mike Smith was an experienced and knowledgeable metal detecting enthusiast. He had done this for years. So when his metal detector picked up an old chain surfacing on the ground, he wasn't excited. It was a regular day for him. Except it wasn't. As he held the chain and started pulling, he noticed that it led to a secret room underground, another secret room. The more he pulled, the more he discovered unfamiliar patterns. The walls of the hole were inscribed with Roman-like letters and seemed to lead somewhere. And soon Mike discovered what looked like the remains of a body buried long ago. Since he was a veteran, Mike understood the laws of metal detecting, so he immediately notified the police. From the chain that led to the hole to the inscriptions on the wall and the human remains discovery, everything about Mike's discovery was strange. The involvement of the authorities and the press, it goes without saying that Mike's life turned upside down after that discovery, and hopefully they unravel the mystery of what was going on there. Number 5 here on our list. It's not uncommon for people to find ancient coins while metal detecting. However, it's not every day that you'll find a jar full of cash. Usually you'll find a piece here and there. When a YouTuber with the username Olaf, treasure hunting and metal detecting diver, stumbled upon a container full of coins by the stream, it wasn't a regular occurrence. On that day, the YouTuber took to the stream and started metal detecting as usual. However, his metal detector started beeping, and he dug up the ground to uncover a rusted tin filled with coins, estimated to have been used around World War II. So who buried the container there anyway? Did they survive the war but forgot to come back for their loot? I guess some things we'll never know. Number 4. There are many places to hide your treasures, but I'm not sure that anyone would think of hiding theirs inside a rock. How do you even do that? Well, it turns out ancient people were daredevils because someone did. While doing his rounds, a YouTuber by the name of Treasure Hunting, oh, that's an easy one to remember, was walking past some rocks with his metal detector when he surprisingly received a signal from within one of them. With his tools, he managed to break through the rock, and to his surprise, some treasures were hidden in there. There was also some jewelry and some other other things valuable to the person who hid them there. Let's see. Finding a treasure using a metal detector is not strange. Discovering one inside a rock is something else. Number 3 here on our list. The items found while metal detecting can tell what type of person who owned them was like in the same breath. Not accusing anyone of anything. Still, if you find a pistol, money, and a creepy skull head belt buckle, it's easy to assume the community did not like the person who owned them. That aside, a YouTuber with the username Nugget Noggin found these exact items while metal detecting in a river. Metal detectors are expected to find such things, but finding them in a search and in close proximity can be somewhat strange. You never know. Number 2 here on our list. As a treasure hunter, discovering something as strange as an assault rifle is one thing, but finding it in your backyard is a complete other. While digging up his backyard for leveling purposes, a treasure hunter and YouTube content creator found something wrapped inside a black polythene bag. Upon opening it, he was surprised to find it was a rifle. He, of course, alerted the authorities, who came and surveyed the scene as protocol demands. Some metal detection enthusiasts, you would expect to find treasures far from your homestead. However, some people get lucky twice. Number 1 here on our list. Wedding rings can get lost anywhere, really. However, you can't expect to find such jewelry in some places unless it was placed there intentionally. One such place is a tree stump. The X-Finds YouTube channel is known for producing huge metal detector findings, content, and boasts a huge following. In one of the videos posted on the platform, we see treasure hunter recover a wedding ring from inside a tree stump with the aid of a metal detector. Metal detector, yes. Even though the person in the video collects many other materials, the wedding ring is a magical find. I hope they find the person whose finger it belongs to. That would be nice. And there you have it. The top 10 things found, or weirdest things found by metal detector. All right. Interesting stuff. No, let's see. What are we doing here? Pam, I don't know why you don't have audio there. Anybody else having trouble hearing me? Good for you. Probably better that way. We're going to take one more quick music break here. When we come back, I have some stories about something I was actually thinking about, and now I have something, an article to figure it out. And then got a story, little music news story. McCartney and Lennon together again. Can you believe it? I'll tell you all about it. And then, of course, we have some celebrity birthdays and some shameless plugs, and we'll get you on with your day. But in the meantime, here's a tune by Bob Green. This is his latest. This is Run. You're listening to Jams and Coffee in the Morning. We'll be right back.
It's a Friday night down on Crystal Lake. You look so fine. We should slip away to somewhere private where no one could see. It's somewhere quiet where they can hear our screams as we run away from the one who walks slowly. Just run, oh baby, run, and pray he don't find you scared and lonely. Run. You watched in fear as the knife pierced my heart, and I'm scared for you, dear, 'cause I'll tear you apart. So please just run. Run away from the one who walks slowly. Yeah, just run, oh baby, run.
lovely and very like emotional take on running away from Jason from the Friday the 13th films. If you really listen to the words, man, it's the whole Crystal Lake Jam running away. Fun song. Really well done, Bob. Here's a topic that I was literally just thinking about it, and I found it fun that I found an article that talked about it. So during election cycles, leading up to it is certainly one of the most annoying things possible. All the mailers. Somehow these people have my cell phone numbers and are able to literally text my cell phone and say, vote for me. Immediate turnoff, by the way, for me anyway. It's not personal. It doesn't make it personal to me. You're not making a personal connection. You're infuriating me. Making me stop whatever it is I'm doing to check my text message, and it's you pining for a vote. But street signs and the little yard signs are just as bad. But my thought is that when the elections are over, and they are, I still see them everywhere. When do these people come and take their junk, their garbage, off of the side of the road? Well, I answered my own question with these articles here. So we're going to take a look at it. How long politicians have to remove their signs. Now that, of course, the 2022 election is over and the political commercials are already off the air, what happens to all the political signs that littered the signs of every road in every major intersection in every city across the whole country? Well, I'm going to tell you. Val Romero ran this year for Tucson Unified School District's school board. Romero said he's been removing his signs since Thursday. Said we took a couple of days. He said, I actually have a couple of volunteers, and someone dropped off some signs at my shop yesterday. He said, I'm out on the west side today taking down my signs in this area. We have other volunteers that are going out this weekend. Romero said, so my plan is by next weekend to be done with all of our signs because we have 15 days after election to get those things down. Romero said he won't be throwing them away, but keeping them for any future elections he might decide to run in. He said, actually, I use these ones for recycle. I ran for city council last year, Romero said, so I was able to put stickers on my old signs and put TUSD on it. Tucson Unified School District, of course. He said, so for me, I save my signs because you never know when you can recycle them because they're not an inexpensive expense. A weird way to word that, but good for you. Each city and town has its own sign ordinance stating how long political campaign signage can remain on street corners along roadways. David Udall of Marana, he's the Marana town clerk. He said if they do leave their signs up, the town can then come in and once it's past 15 days, remove the signs. He said you give them a call and say, hey, we've got your signs here. Come and pick them up. Along with the town of Marana, Tucson also requires political signs to be removed 15 days after an election. If they aren't removed, the city or town will collect them and then call the candidate to come and pick them up. And so I was concerned, or not concerned, but interested in St. Lucie County what the deal was. And they're a little bit more forgiving, I suppose, but also not at the same time. So those other places will just have the town come and pick them up and then tell you to come and get the signs if you want them. In St. Lucie County, candidates have 30 days to remove their signs after their withdrawal of their candidacy or having been eliminated as a candidate or being elected to office. I'm just trying to read here, paraphrase if I can. If the political advertisements are not removed within the specified period, the political subdivision or governmental entity has the authority to remove such advertisements and may charge the candidate and the actual cost for such removal. And the funds collected for removing such advertisements will be deposited to the general revenue of the political subdivision. So they will, the town will come and take them down for you, but then send you a bill, which I think is just fine, as long as someone's doing it. But 30 days seems a little gracious, in my opinion. I feel like it should be like, oh, great, you're elected. Go get your signs. Pick up your trash. But, there's a whole, I went down a rabbit hole this morning looking at these these ordinances, and there's a whole thing on signs, garage sale sign, all kinds of stuff. Interesting that these people get to sit around a table and discuss topics like this. Very important stuff. I don't want to do it, but interesting. So here in St. Lucie County, you have 30 days as a candidate to come and pick up your trash before the city does it and charges you for it. So there you go. It made me feel better, because if they just got away with leaving their signs there for eternity, that's relatively infuriating to me. There's that. Got some music news for you. This was an interesting one. Lennon and McCartney together again, but it might not be what you think. Paul McCartney and the son of late Beatle John Lennon, Julian Lennon, reunited after running into each other at the airport over the weekend. Random and very, the word I'm looking for, coincidental. Lennon, of course, took to Twitter to share the two black and white photos with the legendary musician. He said, it's amazing who you run into at the airport lounge, none other than Uncle Paul. Lennon wrote in that caption, so lovely, and what are the chances? Thankful, he concluded with a series of sweet emojis. The first photo, of course, shows Julian and his Uncle Paul smiling at the camera, and the second photo is of Paul pointing at his phone, which has one of Lennon's new albums, Jude, pulled up on there. September release marked Lennon's first album in over a decade. And if you're a big fan of the Beatles, you probably already knew this story, but for those of you who don't, one of the legendary band's biggest songs was written by Paul McCartney for Julian. During a rough period for the band and Lennon's personal life after he left Cynthia Powell for Yoko Ono, McCartney wrote the hit song Hey Jude to help comfort a 5-year-old Julian. The song's original title was Hey Jules, and McCartney wrote it while making his way to visit Julian and his mother. I was touched by obvious concern for our welfare. On the journey down, he composed Hey Jude in the car. I'll never forget Paul's gesture of care and concern in coming to see us, Cynthia once said about the song. McCartney later changed the name in the song to Jude because he thought that sounded a bit better. And how sweet. And then, of course, Julian's brand new record is titled Jude. I think that's lovely. Could you imagine, your life is, you go through your whole life and Paul McCartney is your uncle? That sounds magical. Uncle Paul. I love that story. I saw that in it. I read a lot of stories. Not a lot of them make me feel something in my feels, and I really liked that one. What a huge span of time that Paul McCartney has just been legendary. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. So that's fun that they ran into each other randomly at the airport. There you go. There's that. We do have some national birthdays for you here, or not national, celebrity birthdays. Let's see. First and foremost, I'm going to send a shout out to my man, Tony Solomon, celebrating a birthday. He's, not only a dear friend, but he's my duo partner at the Square Grouper on some select Thursday nights. And so I hope that he's enjoying his day today. And can't wait to jam with him again very, very soon. And also celebrating a birthday today is King Charles III. He's turning 74 years old today. He, of course, became the King of the United Kingdom in September of 2022, following the death of his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. Prior to becoming king, he was the Prince of Wales. He was the longest-serving heir apparent in British history, as well as the oldest heir apparent in over 300 years. He was married, of course, to Diana, Princess of Wales, from 1981 to 96, and then he married Camilla Parker Bowles in 2005. Happy birthday to the king. Turning 47 years old today. Whoa, what a flip-flop. 74 to 47. The drummer for the pop rock band Blink-182, Travis Barker. Of course, their band is known for such popular songs as What's My Age Again and All the Small Things. He had a reality television show titled Meet the Barkers from 2005 to 2006, and many came to recognize him for his heavily tattooed body and mohawk. Travis Barker, turning 47. He's also married to one of the Kardashians. So there's that, too. Turning 68 years old today. Self-taught New Age keyboardist, Yanni. Yanni is celebrating his birthday. He was known for his musical shorthand, a blending of jazz, classical, soft rock, and world music. More than a dozen of his albums were #1 in the top New Age album category on Billboard. Yanni turning 68 years old today. Interesting music. If you ever want to get into some weirdo music, Yanni's a good one to jump into. Turning 50 years old today, actor and fashion model, who won a Daytime Emmy Award for his role in All My Children, Josh Duhamel. Also from the Transformers. He portrayed Danny McCoy in Las Vegas, which was a wonderful television series. And as mentioned, starred in the first 3 films in the Transformers franchise. In 2010, he played Hobart in the film Ramona and Beezus. And in 2008, he starred in Love, Simon. Josh Duhamel, 50 years old today. And finally, turning 58 years old today, the actor known for his comedic deep baritone voice, Patrick Warburton. If you don't know that name, you would definitely know the voice. He's been in so many things and has been so pivotal in many of these roles. He provided, of course, the voice for Kronk in the animated film The Emperor's New Groove, and voiced the character Mr. Steve Barkin on the TV series Kim Possible. He also had prominent roles in such films as Big Trouble, Ted, and Men in Black 2. He had a recurring role as David Puddy on the NBC series Seinfeld, and he voices Peter's neighbor, Joe Swanson, on the animated series Family Guy. So Patrick Warburton, turning 58 years old today. Happy birthday to all our celebrities. Hope you have a nice day. I've got just a few shameless plugs for you. I am gig free until Thursday, so I don't have much going on. But that doesn't mean I won't be working. I got a bunch of things in the works, some plans to be made. And so nowhere to see me until Thursday, which will put me at the Manatee Island in Fort Pierce. So plenty of time to make plans for that. Would love to see you. Let's see. JNC Radio, as mentioned earlier on in the show. It's our companion radio station for the Jams and Cocktails podcast network. So we feature music all day long. We feature this morning show. We feature our podcast when we're in season on Wednesday nights. And you can listen to that at our website, jncpodcast.com, or you can listen to it on the Live365 Radio App. It's free from your favorite app store. Nothing to sign up for. Boom. You get in there, you search for JNC Radio, and you can start streaming it immediately. And we hope that you do. Check out our friend Paul Robertson's podcast, Drums and Rums. I know that most of you here that tune in regularly have already by now checked out his podcast, so we hope that you do that. Continue to follow him. And check out his live stream on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. His biggest happy hour and a half hour. Always fun, sometimes mental case and chaotic, but always a good time. It's exciting to see what's going to happen on Paul's live stream. So check that out. Thursdays at 8. You can find that on jncpodcast.com and link right out to all of Paul's stuff. Subscribe there as well. Shout out to our friends and partners at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, the Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, and our friends Tim and Jess at the Bug Juice. Their line of bug repellents and skincare products is second to none. Genuinely Not just because they're my friends, but the stuff really works. So check it out, thebugjuice.com, and support local whenever you can, and certainly support those who support us. We appreciate that. Speaking of support, we have our Patreon crowdfunding thing, subscription-based thing. I don't even know what to call it, but it's a way, if you really dig what we do and you want to support us in some small way financially, it's a way to subscribe basically to us for $5 a month, and you get access to some of our behind-the-scenes stuff that we'll post from time to time. And, of course, you get a mention on our rolling credits in the podcast and all that fun stuff. And you help us do all our fun challenges and take the financial burden off of what we're doing, because we don't make a whole lot of money doing this. It's basically a break even, and sometimes not even so. But it's a lot of fun, so I'll continue to fund it as long as I have limbs, I suppose. Let's see what else before I send you on your way. I think that might be it. Here's one I forgot to mention. Join us for a cruise. Join us for a cruise at the beginning of next year, or the middle of the beginning of next year, the middle of January, January 13th through the 15th. It's the Pirates and Parrot Heads Party in Paradise cruise. And it's going to be a good time. I'm going to pull it up here real quick. I can give you a little bit more details. Put on by our good friends, or my good friend, Johnny Ringo, the Code Rum Company, and the Tropically Impaired brand. Let's see, where is it here? It's here somewhere. There we go. Reading is fundamental. Yes, the Pirates and Parrot Heads Party in Paradise cruise. A lot of plosives there. But that's going to be happening January 13th through the 15th on the Margaritaville at Sea. Jimmy Buffett's cruise ship here in Palm Beach, sailing out of Palm Beach or Riviera Beach, the port of Palm Beach, heading over to Freeport. But we got live music from the one and only Jesse Rice, Grammy award-winning singer-songwriter. So he'll be on the cruise with us performing. Check out the event on Facebook. You can find information on it on our Facebook page. I will be also posting a link to our website so that you can get in check it out as well, as we are sponsor for this cruise. And it's going to be a good time. I'll be there. Jordan will be there. We have some other friends sailing with us too, so come and be a part of the action and sail with us. We're going to have an island party out there in Grand Bahama, and lots of stuff to do on the ship as well. And the ship is beautiful. They've Margaritaville has come in and they've kind of revamped the ship and branded it for Margaritaville and Jimmy Buffett, and it's beautiful. They've done a really nice job, and it's always a good time sailing with them. So come and sail with us. And that does it for my shameless plugs, I believe. And I appreciate you tuning in with me this morning. And let's do it again tomorrow. What do you say? Whatever you guys do out there today, do it with a smile. And be kind to one another. Broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge, I'm Brad Brock. Have a great morning. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.